Well, Gillian, this is a huge honor. I love The Fall and Sex Education so much. And congratulations on this new season because it's just wonderful. I loved it so much. I love the dialogue you say when you're like, I don't have time to be nice. I love that episode. Like I said, congratulations on the show. I love how you always choose these juicy powerhouse characters from The X-Files, The Fall, Sex Education. I could literally go on. In The Crown, you're arguably playing one of the biggest British powerhouses. And I'm just curious for you as an actor, what's the difference for you in how you approach in playing a fictional character versus a historic character, like here in The Crown season 4?
Well, I think certainly when you're taking on an historical character, the focus is on getting it as accurate as possible, and so the focus ends up being on the research, and the Crown has some pretty extraordinary research teams. They're impeccable and forensic, and one can kind of ask them for anything and they manage to manifest it for you somehow. And so it was really wonderful to be able to take advantage of that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's so many things that you do to get into character. But I mean, like with Margaret Thatcher, what was it prior to the camera starting to roll where you really felt like you connected with her? I mean, was it a wardrobe piece that you put on? Was it the wig? Is there anything in particular like that?
I mean, at the same time that we were trying to figure out, or at least the hair and makeup team were trying to figure out wig and makeup, and the costumers, we'd already had fittings. I was, doing my own work at home with a couple of people who were helping with voice and also with movement. And I think there was, a certain day where I felt like I had released her vocally in front of somebody else, in front of another human being. And it kind of felt like she showed up in the room for the first time, and so that was exciting. It was a while before I was able to hang on to her consecutively beyond a few lines or a scene. But yeah, that was quite exciting when she suddenly was there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all know that Margaret Thatcher and the Queen kind of had this tumultuous and strained relationship. But I'm curious for you, how was it when the cameras weren't rolling with you and Olivia Colman on set?
Well, that's a very different thing because Olivia is, she's a very chatty, very bubbly, very fun personality. And so, from the moment that I joined the team, I was completely welcomed into the mix, and our banter resembled absolutely nothing that was going on while the cameras were rolling, as you can imagine. But she made it fun,
Yeah, no, it seems like you guys had so much fun on set, and I loved the back and forth, especially when you guys were visiting, and all those different scenes was so good. Gillian, thank you so much for your time today. I can't wait for people to see the new season. Like I said, Jean from Sex Education, she's like my spirit animal. She's my world. So this was a huge honor to talk to you today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Josh and Emma. I have seen the season. I had so much fun with it. I feel like the two of you embody these characters just so beautifully. I mean, obviously, Prince Charles and Lady Diana had kind of a strained and difficult relationship, but there is that balance of respect and mutual affection somewhere in there. And I'm honestly just curious for the two of you as actors, what was the conversations like that you had together in regards to how you wanted to portray this particular part of Charles and Diana's relationship in this season? Emma, I'll start with you.
I think it's really interesting that you just touched upon the mutual love and respect that they did have for each other, because I think that's something that Josh and I really wanted to focus on. We had to constantly remind ourselves not to play the ending, not to play or focus on the tragedy of it. And and that kind of encapsulated that, like, the love that they did have, because I genuinely do think that existed. And I think it was just interesting for us to play the nuance of that, to explore how, I think, and especially prevalent in episode 6, where they're trying to make it work and they have like this 20 minutes of bliss kind of. And I think they're both there when they're happy thinking, look, this can really work. And and it kind of makes everything else around it all the sadder when it doesn't work, because you kind of realize that in some situations, I guess, in some relationships, it doesn't matter how much you love the other person, sometimes it just can't work. And I think also we discussed how the way it didn't work was almost because they needed the same thing from each other, and they couldn't both be that person.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I loved that scene so much. Josh, for you, like, when is the first time you met Emma, and what was the conversation like between like the two of you in regards to how you wanted to portray their relationship? But when is the first time you guys met, and when's the last time you guys have seen each other in person?
We saw each other like a week ago.
Okay.
And we went to see a film with a mutual friend of ours. So we very recently. The first time I met Emma, actually, this mutual friend who we were hanging out with last week had said to me, I was doing screen tests with, I think 3 or 4 potential Camillas, like, when we were doing season 3. And I was texted by my friend to say, hey, look out for my friend Emma Corrin. She's coming in today. And just in case she's nervous, just be nice and friendly. And I was like, sure thing. Looked at the list of people going in for Camilla, and I was like, mate, I don't know what she's told you, but she is not auditioning today. And turned up, and when I walked in, there was Emma, who I'd never met before. And to be honest, even before she'd done any performance, I was like, God, she'd be really good for, like, I don't know why she's auditioning for Camilla. She'd be great as Diana. And then that whole day, we were very lucky enough to find Emerald and for Camilla, who's amazing. But the big thing that day, I remember, was everyone was kind of like, who is Emma Corrin? And she was perfect. And she obviously kind of blew our minds. So that was the first time I met her. And yeah, we've obviously spent a lot of time since.
Did you guys go to see Tenet? I was just curious what the film was that you went to see.
Oh, we went to see Rocks, which was amazing.
Rocks, which is so good.
Okay, no, I'll have to check it out. Well, thank you both so much. Obviously the wedding dress scene and like leading up to the wedding and the wedding rehearsal is just so beautiful. I can't wait for people to see it. That was released of your wedding dress. I feel like so lucky that I was able to see that episode before everyone else. Congratulations. I do. It was awesome. Congratulations to you both so much. I can't wait for people to see this new season.
Thanks, Lauren.